Hello, this is Natural Health Radio. Welcome. Mark Alyn and Teresa Dale here with you to bring you the latest information on your health freedom. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about how to become a health provider, how to help people with natural medicine, and how to get into that right away. So we want to talk about that. We are all about your health freedom to take charge of your life and control your destiny related to your own wellness. That's what we're about, and we're going to talk about that today. Mark, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Dale. How are you?
I'm terrific, actually.
I'm glad to hear that. You're smiling and happy. You had a big event last week, and you were a little stressed for it.
But I was a little stressed for it, because it's doing a lot of different things. But I feel really good because I spent the weekend with over 100 people, helping them and training them. And they're just awesome, like-minded people. So it's always good when you're in a group of people that are like-minded and are all looking and want to do the same thing, which is help humanity, want to get well, want to do it naturally. It's a blessing.
And, of course, all the information that you share is a blessing, too. So we're going to be sharing that today here on Natural Health Radio. You've created a new program called Pro Wellness PMA.
Right. So it is a new company, and it is actually a private health care association registered with the IRS. So this is a legal health care private membership association that has its own EIN number with the government, and through a group of attorneys that do only this, we are rocking it to help people learn about natural medicine and to share that with other people.
I want to back up before we talk more about Pro Wellness PMA, and let's talk about alternative health, and let's talk about health in general. Do you think more people are interested in learning about their own health care and taking care of their families in a natural way than they used to be?
It's grown exponentially over the last, I would say, 15 to 20 years. Every year, you're seeing more articles about that. You're seeing you're seeing Harvard reviews and articles about natural medicine, about homeopathy. Switzerland came out with this huge statement saying that what they've seen in their country is that homeopathy works as well or better than any traditional medicine. And so they use that in their hospitals.
Oh my.
Yeah, so it's used in hospitals all over the country, all over the world, but not in this country, because we are stuck into the traditional model that looks at people as and at their disease as being that it's something that can't be cured or has to be cured with medication, because they were trained that way, not because it's the truth.
Is there any reason that you can think of to use traditional health?
Of course, if you're in an accident, don't come to me, go to the emergency room. Of course.
Right.
Of course, and in emergencies, when a person has not taken care of themselves using sound, holistic methods, and they get into an emergency, then they need to do whatever they need to do.
All right, so let's talk about some emergencies. One car accident, okay? Yeah. Skiing accident. I can guarantee you both, I will never be in a skiing accident. Do you know why?
Because you'll never do it.
I won't ski. Not because it doesn't appeal to me, you know. So that kind of an accident. But then there are health accidents, a stroke, a heart attack.
Yeah, whatever emergencies there are, it's clear that you need to get traditional medicine. But for degenerative medicine, for anything else, anything else, it can be dealt with naturally, and that is proven. That's the way it's done in other countries.
Right.
People are more aware there of, you know, of what to do because they grow up with it, and they don't have a McDonald's on every corner, and they don't have all of the fast foods. They have more of it now than they've ever had, but not like we have it. You might find Ireland, you know, with one. You might find, you know, I mean, you might find these things. I know because I've been there and I've seen it. You know, I've seen one. You might, you know, but you're not going to have the television advertisements that we have here either.
But
for
in Western-
medications, for drugs, for all of those things that doesn't exist in other parts of the world.
In a lot of the western parts of the world, England, Australia, Canada, even Japan, they do have a combination of both. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, it's the new.
Well, it
the new
depends
thing.
if it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, even then you want to use a combination of both. So that's totally understandable. If someone needs surgery, we have the best surgeons in the United States, without a doubt. But we are talking about today how to help people get beyond the mentality of needing traditional medicine, instead looking at educating oneself, looking at caring for oneself, looking at loving yourself. Love yourself. I mean,
well, we are loving you right now here on Natural Health Radio, and we're going to start talking about Pro Wellness PMA. What is Pro Wellness PMA? What does the PMA stand for?
Private Membership Association.
Private Membership Association. And I don't know anything about this, so I'm just asking questions just like somebody listening, right?
Right.
So is this like an insurance?
This is a private membership association that is related to natural medicine, health freedom. It's a healthcare association that is legal with the government. So it's legal to educate, to empower, to offer health care, natural health care to people
that are members of
that
the
are
association.
members, because they're not in the public anymore. They're in the private. They're in the private sector.
So if I were a member of this and I had an itchy elbow because of a bug bite, I could come in.
Well, yes, you could, but also part of this organization
Right.
is that I train people through audio and video and live events on how to heal themselves naturally. So it's an educational healthcare organization where they become educated in helping themselves. They learn about homeopathy, nutrition, detoxification, and also about the emotions that are related to illness. Okay?
Okay.
So the emotions are key. I will make a very bold statement. There is no disease. There are filters that allow you to believe what people tell you, that block your own feeling of what you need to do for it. In other words, you give your power away to authorities.
Well, that's why I tell people that when you go to a doctor, and I don't care if it's a homeopathic physician.
Any doctor,
anybody at all. Of course, the other day I met a doctor of history and told him my elbow hurt, and he said, no, I'm the wrong kind of doctor. But that's another story. But I tell people to talk to their doctors as if they're part of their team. In other words, I would say, Teresa, my elbow hurts, or my knee hurts, or my foot hurts, or I'm having indigestion, whatever the problem might be, and I tell people to talk to their physicians and healthcare providers one-on-one, first name basis. And the reason for that is so that there's no pedestal. The doctor is not elevated. How do you feel about that?
Look, I just think it's important to not even go there,
Well,
personally.
right.
I think it's important that if you educate yourself, you will have answers. You know your body better than anyone. So educating is key in the reality of healthcare and to never give your power away. You can imagine somebody going to a doctor and being told that they have cancer and they're going to die. And the reality is that maybe they have cancer. There's so many things that's used all over the world to help it, and there's so many people that have cured themselves without a doctor. And all of that research is available. So if a person, even one person, but I know thousands and thousands have cured themselves without any kind of traditional medicine. So, but natural medicine is very powerful, depending if you use ozone, you can use so many different things to help to kill the viruses, right? But we have to understand that if you buy it, if you believe there's nothing else you can do, if you set up that filter in your life and you see it that way, that's the way it's going to be.
Right.
So you set that up mentally by giving your power away. And by, and in other countries, they don't have it like we have it. It's not the same. And so it's only water that's between us, different government, and the big pharma, which is the main thing. So the big pharma is there to make money. If they wanted to help people, they wouldn't make drugs that can kill you. They would look at using natural medicine instead of drugs.
I had a traditional doctor, say that if there was an ingredient in a plant, and of course a lot of medicines, prescription meds are based on plants, and they take out an element, they chemicalize it, that's my word, and put it into a tablet, whatever that might be. Aspirin would be
salicylates, right? They take the chemical structure out, and
right.
Yes,
they duplicate it. Maybe even they use the willow bark, which is where that comes from.
White willow bark.
Willow bark, and they put it into a capsule. But now they're charging, instead of 5 cents a tablet, they're charging $14 a tablet.
Right.
Right? And I do have a problem with that.
Well, the synthesization, the making it a chemical, synthesizing it to become a chemical, it won't act the same way as the natural. It will have side effects. So doing that to make money over looking at what it's going to do, they know that it's going to hurt people. Why do they do these things? Because of money, right? They know that it has side effects.
And at the same time, we all need money.
Yes, we all need money, but they have billions and billions and billions of money.
And whatever's beyond billions, they do. This is Natural Health Radio. Dr. Teresa Dale, I'm Mark Alyn. We're talking about Pro Wellness PMA. Let's get into how people can find out about Pro Wellness PMA.
Well, I think the best way is to go to prowellnesspma.com. And this is a very simple website that will tell you about joining and becoming a pro wellness coach and how to empower people, your friends, your family, in your neighborhood, set up your own business. This is a job opportunity, and make up to 45% commissions in helping them by marketing and offering them products that are natural and have no side effects, and actually are proven to never have side effects.
And then these would be Pro Wellness PMA products?
They would be Pro Wellness PMA products, my products, Dr. Teresa Dale. And so they've been in doctors' hands for many, many years, and we have great success with them and no side effects with them. So the interesting thing to know is that it's not an MLM, it's not a network marketing, and it is a job opportunity. So whether you're working, you want this as a full-time opportunity or a part-time opportunity. Let's say you have a part-time job or something and you want to add to it. This would be great in either scenario. The most important thing, the people that we're looking for, are people who really want to help other people. Sometimes people tell me, my whole life I wanted to be a healer. I have a gift for it. Well, what's holding them back is that they have children and they don't want to go to school or can't go to school for 6 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and leave their family. Or they didn't believe in themselves that they could really do it.
And you have created a course structure that's easy?
That's easy, video, audio, and live events. And for those people who have a passion for it but don't believe they can do that, come to me, because we will train you to release that inhibition or a little bit of maybe low self-esteem or not believing in yourself, and we will empower you to do it.
And of course, at the same time, you've got the opportunity to work with you, Dr. Teresa Dale, and you've trained thousands of physicians, if I'm not mistaken, as well as lay people.
Yeah, I've trained thousands of people, and I haven't broken them up to see who was what, because they're all souls that came for training. Now, the PMA is different because I have figured out after all these years how to do it via audio training, video, because the whole world is different now regarding technology and media. We can do anything with media now, especially with Daryl.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we can do anything. He is the guru.
He is the media guru.
He is the media guru.
And somebody I know very, very well actually upgraded to a 21st century cell phone recently.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
I'm just teasing a little bit.
It's good. It's very good. I like that. So I think it's very interesting to look at if you want really, really, and I have people who have stood in front of me and tears coming down their face. This is, I want to help people, but I can't do it. I didn't do well in whatever classes they've taken in their life. I feel like I can't do it. Come to me, because we will work through that with you. That's what part of the training is. You end up healing yourself, and then you pass it on.
There's a statement, I think, by the founder of medicine, right? Physician, heal thyself.
Yes.
And
that's a very important thing, and you find many health providers today that do have issues, and they work with me to help heal them, and that's also a learning process. So I think that the Pro Wellness PMA is for lay people. It is not necessarily for doctors, or all doctors can do that, of course, because you would be able to share the products and earn a living doing this easily. So,
and at the same time, do you work with patients one-on-one, and they say, gee, I have, I don't know, or carpal tunnel or arthritis, or can you tell if I have something? Well,
the thing is, the Pro Wellness PMA teaches them to test themselves. This is an empowerment association. I will teach them how to find it, how to find what to do for it. And I think this is the best way to go for humanity. If people were empowered, they would know what to do. They could test who to vote for. They could test they could test all kinds of things. What a kind of a better world would we have with all the things that are going on today? So I'm teaching self-testing and teaching neurophysical testing, how to test other people.
And again, this is has this been approved by the feds?
This is a legal association, legal with the IRS, with the government. So it's cost me a lot of money to do this, but it's the only way I would do it. Is that once they're a private member, then we're not in the public anymore, right?
And they'll be able to
help each other. All members can help each other.
Gotcha. What about states that don't have any licensing for
It has nothing to do with licensing.
It doesn't.
Nope. It has to do, it's a legal government private association, a healthcare private association. So I know dentists that are practicing without a license under this.
Under these kind of this kind of a
Exactly.
rule. And that would be dentists who are alternative dentists?
Possibly. But also, we will not be diagnosing, we will not be doing the things that would maybe create a problem. Although we could under this, I prefer to do this in a way where we learn how to naturally test the energetic values of reflex points.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. We're talking about ProWellnessPMA.com. ProWellnessPMA.com. We encourage you to visit there. This is a brand new function from Dr. Teresa Dale. You have access not only to Dr. Dale's product line, but you also have access, more importantly to me, to Dr. Teresa Dale. And you can join this group to help yourself, your families, and at the same time start a business.
Start a business and help other people. And the reason I teach the testing is so that every product, if a person wants to buy a product, like if you wanted to buy a product, I would test you before I would sell it to you to make sure it's the right one for you.
And you've done that with me.
I've done that for years, so that's why
Yes.
I'm testing other people to do it, because that has integrity.
And the reason for this is that, there's only one Teresa Dale, right?
Well, there's only one Daryl, there's only one, Mark, and and thank God there's only one me. But, it's like, I want to help people, and that is the core of why I'm doing this. And
so that your methods can be shared. I mean, you could see, 6 to 8 patients a day, 6 days a week. But this way, your techniques, your thought, your education can be extrapolated to hundreds, if not thousands of people every day being helped through natural means.
And the interesting thing is if it were only 6 to 8 patients a day, that would be a day in the park. But when I've lectured at various functions and various clubs, I have, there's been thousands of people there, and I've worked on as many as 120 people a day.
Oh my God.
For 3 days in a row, and never felt so great, because it gives you energy, understanding that you're helping people when you're doing it. There's no tiredness that happens. So I've used those times to test out different ideas and theories over the last 30 years.
In talking myself with massage therapists and acupuncturists, but mostly massage therapists, I asked them, after giving a massage, aren't you beat? Aren't your hands hurt? Or your knees, if they, really get in there and work on a tough muscle? And almost 100% of the time, they say, oh no, I get so energized from helping people.
It's really the truth. It's the way to heal your life, is to give, is to offer and give. So that is why I created this completely different organization. It is focused just on helping the lay people, general public, people who in their heart have always wanted to help people. Or if you're a health provider but haven't done it in years, you're retired, or you didn't like it, or you have a lot of training in natural medicine, but it's been for years and you haven't really used it. Come into this, because you will love it, because it's completely learning how to understand the anatomy of an illness and the anatomy of a wellness, and how you transform illness to wellness through your thoughts, through your beliefs, through spirit.
As we age, you mentioned the word degenerative disease. Generally speaking, as we age, many people come down with forms of arthritis. Is this a natural process? And I'm going for a specific thing.
No, it's really not a natural process. If you eat toxic food and if you have feelings in your body that are negative about yourself or other people, judging yourself, judging other people, then you're going to get things. And you're gonna get disease. So the whole idea is to clean it all up so that you don't get these things as you get older. I can honestly tell you right now, sitting here with two magnificent people, that I have never felt better in my life.
I haven't
right
seen you
now.
look this bright in a long time.
Well, it's I had a case of food poisoning, and I was
Right.
really down from that. And albeit I knew that, okay, I'm going to recover. It's bad. I have a fever, whatever. I'm going to recover from that because I'm healthy. And I picked up this thing. So it was 3 days. It was awful, but then it's gone. And I do natural things to get it to leave. Never cover it or suppress it with drugs, because if you do that, that thing will come back. It's as something else, maybe not the same
I
thing.
just talked to somebody else who had food poisoning just around the same time you did, and they didn't think, they wanted to die. They wanted it over with.
Well, I didn't want it over with. I thought to myself, okay, I'm sick with a fever. Let me meditate. It's like you always have a tool to go to, because the system that we are souls, even if we don't want to believe that. That is what it is. Now, the closer you can get to connect to that, then you'll have answers that will allow you to heal. I don't care what it is. I've seen people in wheelchairs who had MS, who I tested them and I said, this is all coming from the mercury. You've got all the mercury fillings in your mouth. I need those out before I really even give you anything. So those were removed. We put them on a program. They started walking. They got up. They started walking. Then they didn't have MS anymore. I've seen it. And I'm not doing this from an ego perspective, believe me. It's not from that perspective by saying that. I'm saying that people can heal themselves. Get the mercury out of your mouth. Get the dental things situation handled. This takes a little bit of work, but it will.
And a little bit of money.
It takes a little bit of money depending upon if you go to Mexico to get your fillings out, then it costs almost nothing. Okay, and you can go to a biological dentist there trained by Dr. Huggins. So we have all that information for healing you and then paying it forward to the people that you're going to help.
Here in this country, biological dentists, and I'm assuming they do the same thing in Mexico. When Daryl and I did a video with a biological dentist, and when they removed the mercury, they're in hazmat suits.
Yeah, it's very toxic. You can imagine it being in your mouth and then somebody removing it, and the fact that they could, if they did that, kept doing that without a hazmat suit, they would have critical disease because of the toxicity of it. And this is in your mouth all day long.
I remember in junior high school being given mercury to play with.
Yeah, and roll it around your hands.
Yeah. Right.
It's
you
amazing.
did that too, right?
I remember
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I was
amazing.
in junior high school. They gave us a Petri dish, and 2 or 3 of us would be around. You'd squish it, and they don't do that anymore.
I know, and it's
Which
a
is-
darn good thing.
It is. They also don't give people live frogs. They're digital frogs these days.
Right.
Right. Which is probably better.
Much better.
Right.
And here, better
Did you
for
work
the
on
frog.
Did you have to work on frogs?
Yes. I think I made myself get sick to get out of most of it.
Did you?
When I was little, because I couldn't stand killing things or opening things like that at that point. I
Right.
thought,
Could you do it now?
why are you asking me
I
if
don't
I'd
know.
work on and dissect a frog now? What are you smoking?
I'm not. I'm just. I mean, you need to know about the body.
Yeah, but you don't need to dissect things to know about the body in real life. I mean, you don't need to do that. I mean, that's
for the traditional guys, for the
but
accidents and stuff.
For the accidents, for those kinds of things. But here's the thing: digitally, if you just go to that, did you ever go to that the physical body display and that art? Exploration that they have in Las Vegas, where you see with the body without the skin.
No, because they're dead bodies. I didn't want to go. Did you do that, Daryl? No, for the same reason. Yeah.
Well, they are dead bodies, but here's the thing.
They've been preserved in plastic or something.
Yeah, and the other thing is that for people who want to learn anatomy, and if you can overlook the fact that they're dead bodies, then it might be helpful. Albeit, I don't think you need to do that either.
Right, and there's digital ways of doing that.
There
these
is,
days
and
too.
By the digital ways, you can learn exactly, like the adrenal glands, how far above the kidneys they are. You could see pictures, and it's not always the exact. If you're looking at how many inches they are above the about an inch and a half, but every person is different.
Right.
Your weight makes a change in things, right?
So my adrenals could be 3/4 of an inch above.
Maybe even a slighter difference, but something like that. Yeah.
Right.
It would be different. So with each person. So that's why doing cadavers is great, but it's not going to be always the same with exactly that. They're going to be in the same places, but not exactly the same size in every person.
And if you think about this, 100 years ago, maybe 120 years ago, doctors were stealing bodies to learn about where everything was, which is also morbid.
It is very morbid, and I, do have a story about that I will share with all of the pro-wellness coaches about how the Germans got the acupuncture points out of the body to make sure they were really acupuncture points, to confirm that they were like a little battery.
Oh, interesting.
But I'm not going to go into that now. But all my pro-wellness coaches will learn about everything that I experienced in my training, including talking to doctors who did things that to verify that acupuncture, after 2,000 years of research, they had to verify it by seeing it. It's like, okay.
They were from Missouri. It's
right.
the show me state.
Thing, right.
The show me state. We're talking about pro-wellness PMA, pro-wellness private membership
association.
And
it's a private healthcare association.
Right, and it's prowellnesspma.com, prowellnesspma.com, and you can go there and learn more about what Dr. Dale has created that will allow you to become a pro-wellness coach.
Right, and I think that would be something that anyone would find value in their life, because not only would you learn to heal yourself, but you would have a new opportunity to help others. And that's really where we need to go. I mean, sometimes people really want to get well, and they know they can get well, but they keep going to a health provider that says, no, you need, there's no cure for this. And I think that's criminal to tell somebody there's no cure. Now, if they said, I don't know of a cure of this, I wasn't trained in knowing about a cure, that would be different. Then the person would say, oh, okay, I can look around for somebody else, right? But the reality is that's not the way it is. So there's a cure for anything except a mind that doesn't want to change. If your mind doesn't want to let go, if you don't want to change, then there's no cure unless you want to change.
So you have to be open.
you have to be able to be not only be open, but to want to change things. It's like change is wonderful. Now, I know at certain times in a life you think, oh, changes have happened for the negative. Okay, and you don't like change because they've happened for the negative. And in that case, you need to find out what you can do to change them back. And that has to do not with anybody else, just with you. How you can change to bring the things that you want to you.
What about psychological problems? People have, they don't want to leave their home. They're paranoid. They have, I don't know, other emotional issues. Can you, as a pro-wellness PMA coach, work on these kinds of
You
illnesses?
can help them with those things through giving them supplements that contain 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate or methylcobalamin or nutrients or niacinamide that actually changes the brain. And then you can also work and talk with them related to empowerment and how good they are. Sometimes people had a rough life. Lots of people have rough lives, and we oftentimes think, well, that we've had the roughest life. I know that I was, when I was a child, I was emotionally abused and physically abused. It was almost, it wasn't a gift to me, but it allowed me to be the person that I am today because I had to get rid of it. I felt like I had to release it and I had to change it because I had very low self-esteem and I was a very quiet little mousy person. But I wasn't born like that. I remember as a child dancing on the tables and singing and, and
I want to see videos.
I don't think so. I was only, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I still want to see them.
So I don't think they had video cameras at that time. But the point is that when things start happening that suppress who you are, you have to find your way out of it and do what you love.
But a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll say, well, my parents abused me, I was neglected, and that's the way I am, and that's the way I'm going to be. And they go back to say, my dad used to beat me all the time.
Until they say, I want help, and if that there's nothing you can do.
Or they say, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah. Well, that's what if they say there's nothing wrong with me and they are negative and have these things, then, every person, when they're ready, can find the way to the light. Okay? And I've seen people who recently, this weekend, who never believed in God. They were an atheist. They were, never negative, very negative. Everything is wrong. And they were at this group of really people working on being enlightened. And this was this person. And so in an exercise that we did, this person started crying and said, okay, for the first time in my life, I feel something,
Wow.
And so that was amazing. And a person who was negative before to everyone, including me, came up to me afterwards and said, I'm going to help you out to your car with your stuff, So it was like it was a completely different person. So just letting go of the negative.
And being open. I think that's one of the hardest things to do.
I think it's very easy for people to be open. You just have to get out of your ego. If you have an ego, it could be ego that says the smartest people cannot be teachable because they're shut and they're closed. Like, oh, I know everything. That is a person that's not teachable and they're not open. They're not open sometimes to anything. But then I don't know many people who haven't had experience in success in their life. When a person hasn't had experience in success and hasn't had success in their life, they can become very downtrodden. They can feel like there's no hope, But once someone gives them hope, and they look at you and you can see the change in their eyes just from saying something positive to them, then that's a person you can help, a person who recognizes hope as their answer.
And at the beginning of the show, Daryl, Dr. Dale said we were two miraculous and wonderful people. So my eyes opened up at that point, too.
Yeah, but it's really true. I mean, that's what I see. However you want to see yourself is your business, but I'm going to see yourself that way because that is what I know the truth. I know that to be true.
And one, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we see you as the same. But it's nice to hear. It's nice to get that pat on the back once in a while.
Well, I think it's very important to see people for who they are, and if that is a pat on the back, but it's also not done to pat you on the back. It's done just to say what really is, and I think that of so many people, sometimes when I'm working with people the most, the people who come in and say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and I feel,
woe is me.
Overwhelmed. Oh, no, but they're just so tired of going to the doctor to get the negativity of this is the only way to handle it, this is the only way to do it. I look at them and I said, you're perfect. You're perfect. Now, all we'd have to do is get you to believe that. That's it. So what is it going to take? And the person just starts hugging you and they go, oh, I'll do anything. And that opens them up. The reality is that it's mental and emotional issues. Sometimes there's spiritual things where people don't recognize that there's a source out there that is there for them. They just have to open up to it.
Recently, I can't think of their names. He's an astrophysicist, and Neil. Do you know who I'm talking about, guys?
No.
He did a show, and he did a TV special, and it was, is there God? And from a scientific standpoint, he said no. There is no God. And the Englishman, the English astrophysicist. Who's he every now and then he shows up on Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
Hawkins, okay. They don't believe in God. They say there's no scientific evidence.
And how healthy is he?
Yeah, he's not very healthy, is he?
Well, here's the thing, is that in working with biophysicists in Germany and physicists in Germany who are brilliant as well, it just depends what your childhood is like and what your focus is. They're focused on finding the positive about what exists, where man can go, how are we communicating and relating in our life. And there are 10 physicists that have all proven the same thing, and I have their names and all their references from Dr. Ludwig because I studied this in multi-dimensions. So these physicists have proven that there are multi-dimensions, six dimensions. Some physicists have proven that there's at least 6 dimensions, and then Burkhard Heim proved that there are 8 dimensions in our universe. Now, how does that happen? And many people that I work on sometimes tell me, and I started figuring this out from my training, but they'll come in and they'll say, I don't know where I am creating this because I just don't understand it. I feel like sometimes I go off into a different place. Think about when you drive and you check out. Where do you go when you check out and you don't remember how you got to where your destination is?
Interesting.
So those are the kinds of things.
And it shouldn't be your cell phone.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Have you ever had that experience?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know why or how I
Well, no one knows why or how. And it could be that in certain situations, and some people do it and check out when they're having intimate relations. They check out and they're not present. Some people have it when they're reading a book. All of a sudden they're off somewhere and they don't remember where where they are in the book. So the point is, there's so much yet to be explained. And the idea is we need to go up and into the light, not into the darkness of what can't be, but more into the light of what can be.
One of the things that I just occurred to me, I've experienced, kind of, not a blackout, but you just don't remember where you might have been. Doesn't happen to me during intimate occasions.
Drinking?
Well, yeah, used to. But during intimacy, I want to be in the present. I want to feel everything.
Well, so that's the thing. Some people
Yeah.
don't have good relationships, and so they're intimate anyway, even
Right.
though whatever, and sometimes they can black out. But the point is that it has been proven that there are 6 to 8 dimensions that have physical matter, So these are the kinds of things that we will discuss in the Pro Wellness PMA and get deep into.
And if you want, you can go to prowellnesspma.com for more information, prowellnesspma.com, to learn more about this exciting new program from Dr. Teresa Dale. This is a private
Membership
association that allows you to make money as you're helping others. And I think that's a very important thing. Again, prowellnesspma.com. Two of the most important and powerful words, I think, are love and faith. Is this part of healing?
It is. I mean, it's a direct part of healing. It's loving yourself, and if you don't know how to do that because of past, then we'll teach you how to do that. And faith is within you, whether you recognize it or not. I mean, it's just who we are. That's who's talking to you right now. It's just the way it is.
Explain that.
I am talking to you from the soul I am. I haven't prepared today.
Right.
I haven't even thought about doing this today. And everybody does or can do the same thing just by getting rid of all of the negativity in your life.
Well, what I tend to do when I'm interviewing, because that's what I do for a living, is I connect to Source.
There you
which
go.
Which is what I do, and ask, please make this a good show.
Right.
Make this a good interview. We've done 43 minutes right now. We're about to wrap up.
And so when you do that, you're connecting to Source, and that's where it's all coming from. So wouldn't it be great if we could do this with our whole life?
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. You can do it with your whole life, and it just takes focus and intent. You have to have the intention to do it.
In our remaining minute or so, can you give us another rundown of the kinds of things we will learn with Pro Wellness PMA?
Pro Wellness PMA, the training includes audios related to diet, nutrition, what to look for in supplements, what not to eat in supplements, the anatomy of an illness and the anatomy of wellness, homeopathic medicine, simple ways to use it, and all of the research involved in this, as well as working with emotions, mind, body, spirit, and testing yourself and testing others. Without testing, doing anything to help someone is almost useless in a way, because the testing shows you exactly what to give the person.
Well, thank you very much for...
Well, thank you very much for being with me today and asking such great questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Okay, we'll see you next show. Yay!
Have a good week, everybody.
Okay.